Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. It's been a little bit, but we are going to be doing one of our How Cheap Is It? An ironic title now for BT16 decks, and we're starting off with the most infamous deck of them all, the Magnamon Veemon deck. Yep. We're just going to go right into it, see how cheap or how not cheap it really is. Give you guys a bit of a snapshot of how expensive it is to build this deck. Again, we'll be doing it like normal, where we list more than 50 cards just so you guys have, a buy list basically. Because again, you don't normally just buy 50 cards and call it a day. Normally you buy like 60 cards or whatever, and then you build your deck with the 50 out of 50 of them. You switch things up, you try things out. So that's how we're gonna do it for today. And I hope you guys enjoy the video. Let me know what you think in the comments. If Digimon is getting too expensive or whatever, let me know in the comments. Start with Magnamon X, we'll call him BT16 Magnamon X here, who is $70 card right now that you need 4 copies of, and this could change. This could go up and down by the end of the weekend, whatever. But as of right now, you buy a playset for 280 bucks. It is what it is. This is not a video to determine whether or not this is expensive or not. This is just right now the way it is. Moving on to other things, though, the Veemons are pretty cheap. Your BT16 Veemon here. We'll call it, hello? Hi, how are you? BT16 Veemon here. We will just call it, I don't know, 50 cents. 4 copies. Sound reasonable? Hello? Everything's falling apart here. Alright, there we go. Just do this. Great. Then we have this one, the BT12 one. For the sake of keeping it simple, we're also going to call it 50 cents. Then we have this Veemon. This Veemon's actually a little bit pricier. Some people play 4 copies of it, so I'm just going to include 4 copies of it. This is the Starter Deck 9 Veemon. It comes in the Imperial Starter Deck. And we'll call it a $1.50, and we'll just high roll, say you want 4 of it. Okay, also this should be 4, not 5. So $6 for a playset, and then finally is promo Veemon, P117 Veemon, and we'll call this $1 each. Looks about right. It's quickly $2, but for right now, we'll just high roll, call it $2. Maybe you get to it too late and it's just permanently $4, whatever. Okay, so far we have our boss monster and our rookies, and we're at $299 US. It's not going to get any friendlier, though, anytime soon, because we got to talk about Magnamons now. So, Magnamon here, this is the BT13 one, and we'll call it $2, lowest rarity, and we will say you're buying a playset. That's $8. This Magnamon is an $11 card. This is really unfortunate. This is one you should have bought a long time ago, if you listen to my market watches, but again, we're not here to judge or talk about previous prices or whatever. This is just how expensive it is right now. So $44 for a playset of those. This Cursed Magnamon. I hate this card now. If you know, you know. If you don't know, you should watch my Twitch stream more often. Specifically last night's at Game 3. You should watch that. If you want to see me lose my mind, you should watch that. Anyway, we'll call it $4 each for this broken card. And people say Magna X is the problem. Oh my god. Anyway, sorry. $16 for a playset. Alright, sounds good. Zudomon Ace. This is not a common inclusion, but I see people that run this card either run it at 3 or 4. Not everyone does, though. It's just a little surprise button, so to speak. I'm going to throw it in the mix, but don't feel obligated to buy it if you don't want to buy it. It is a really cool trick, though, and it has applications against the meta, obviously. So $8 playset there. We're up to $400, basically. And Death X. The cheapest near mint is $69.99. Nice. We'll call it $70. Again, not something everyone plays. We'll say if you want to buy it, you buy 2 copies of it. And that we'll just leave it alone at that. I've seen multiple people do Death X in this deck, so that's fine. And something I actually forgot to look up that I'm just going to bring up right now is Jesmon GX. You do get some people that try playing the one of Jesmon GX just for the LOL funnies. And it's a $28 card right now. We're going to assume you're only buying the one if you want to buy the one. It is by nowhere, by any standard, a mandatory card in the Magnamon deck. It's just a cute little push, if you want to call it that. Call it one right there. Alright, other cards. Shu Yulin, lowest rarity. Some people will play 2 copies of this because you can stick it on their Magna X. Gives it Alliance and Reboot. It's also Memory Tamer, which is not too bad. So 2 copies of it, $1 is fine. Some people play Memory Tamer Davis. This one's not so common. I'm going to throw it in just because. But, again, no more than 2 copies of it. Go down to $14. Then we have this Davis that some people go as much as 4 copies of. It's a cheap card. I have no problem throwing 2 copies in the deck. And then we'll just call it 4 copies. It's a $4 card. There we go, like that. That's what I want to rate. Almost done. On the options now. Heaven's Judgment. Heaven's Judgment is a really good card now. I see some people playing 2 or 3. It's a cheap card. It's actually a lot more expensive than it was previously. But it's a cheap card. We'll say $1 each, and it's cheap, so 4 copies is fine. We have Blinding Ray. A very, very, very cheap card. Lowest rarity. Even the highest rarity isn't that expensive. But 25 cents, 4 copies just to buy, just for the sake of buying, is fine. Final Zubagon Punch. With shipping, it's a little bit up there. It's also seen some activity because of Magna X, obviously. We'll call it 2 copies. I've never seen anyone play more than 2 copies of this card in the deck. $1 there. Last card I want to bring up for now is Awakening of the Golden Knight. 25-cent card. 50-cent card is fine. 50-cent card. 4 copies. Some people play 3. We'll just do 4. And there you go. To buy the lowest rarity Magna X pile, it costs you $594. Bonus round real quick before I get into financial suggestions. If full max rarity Magnamon tickles you, if you want to have an inkling of what this deck is worth, $4,000 according to TCG player prices, $4,000 right there. This is $860 for 4 of these. So you're almost at $5,000. We'll call it $4,800 just to round. This is the max rarity. Actually, interestingly enough, this dropped. Wow. That's crazy. Sorry, I got distracted. This might be on Market Watch on Saturday. Anyway, let's say you're going for the more expensive one at $60 per. Okay, well now you're at like $5,040. Call it $5,000 just to round down. Okay, you're at $5,000 just in max rarity Magnamons. Just there. Now, fortunately, it doesn't get too crazy after that. You do get some Veemons here in the max rarity world. We'll go from high to low. You'll be able to see them, right? This is the max rarity, I believe, the starter deck 9. That's what people play 4 copies of, so there's $200. This is the max rarity of the BT12 one. This is $20. So that brings us up to, what, 5,300, I guess we'll call it. 5,300? Yeah, sure. This has dropped a lot. These Veemons are really cheap. I hope you sold... I hope you guys sold these Veemons when I told you to sell them. I guess that's nothing. Whatever. Okay. Any other expensive Veemon? Not really. Not in this deck, anyway. Anything else we're talking about? Lottery card Zudomon Aces. If you want to go that route, you need freaking $1,000 by place out of those. Anyway, max rarity Magna X pile blue is a $6,000 deck. It is just that. There's no hiding it. It is just what it is. I don't think it's a worthy investment, to be honest, because Magna X, you know, it's good, but it might get powercraft sooner rather than later. If you've seen the Japanese meta, you know that it's not always topping in BT17. Some people think the deck is tier 2 in Japan. I think that's incorrect, but that's a conversation for a different day. If you want to make this more affordable, If you wanted to ask me, Mario, I don't want to spend 600 bucks on a Magna X pile. What can I do to make this easier? Well, you can not play the Zudomon Aces or the Death X's or the Jessamon GX. You can just choose to play none of those cards, and it drops you down to 400 bucks. But that's it. You need the Magna X's at 4. You need the Magnamons. You need them. You need... Nothing else matters. Yeah. It's still a $400 deck. For probably the best deck in the format. I would say one of the best decks of the format. You still need 400 bucks to play it, which is significantly more expensive than any of the How Cheap Is It's that we did in BT15, if you guys remember those. And people were saying that that was expensive. So I think a lot of people are going to find the format to kind of price cap some people. Some people might even call it the end of Digimon. I wouldn't go that far. But Digimon is expensive to play right now if you want to play this deck, or if you want to play Rapidmon. There are some cheaper decks in the format that you can play. One of them, for instance, is Mirage Galgamon, which is actually a video on the channel already, I believe. I think. And, that deck hasn't really changed in price. But it's way cheaper than this. You can play Red Hybrid, which hasn't really changed much, which is way cheaper than this. You can play Numamon, which, again, hasn't changed much. Yeah, throw in some BT16 Nukomons, but that's like 10 bucks for a playset or whatever, right? So again, that really hasn't changed much. But if you want to play your Armor Form decks, your Magna X's and your Rapid X's, you are looking at pretty pennies this format. But we will explore some cheaper options as we go. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye!